Yeah.
Yeah, I just a little tidbit. As much as we can record ourselves, even if it's on the voice audio on the phones, it's really powerful to
Yeah, I was going to push record when I started and I forgot. So
share that.
because I thought about that. I said, well, at least it would be recorded, the voice. I forgot.
All good, all good. So thank you for being here for our master course today. Today we're going to be talking about event and sponsorship magic. I wanted to do a quick check-in with everybody, just if you wanted to share any aha moments, and if there's an intention that you have for today's training, so I make sure I cover that. I've got an agenda, but really I'm here for you. And David, since you're here first, do you mind going first?
Well, okay. I have a brand new elevator speech.
Oh, good. Let's hear it.
I was referred to tell people that it's not a pitch, it's a speech. It's slightly over 30 seconds, but here we go. Hi, I'm David Dunworth from Marketing Partners. As influencers, we want to attract more people to our work, to our message, but what most people do is make it about themselves. But really, effective communication values the audience over the sender. If we want to influence others and impact them, we need to let them know what is true and possible over what is the prevailing hype of the day. My clients hire me to condense and solidify their message to its best use for growing their business to sizes they never expected on their own. You can reach me at david@marketingpartnersllc.com.
Bravo. I like it.
What do you think? Is that a good one?
I like it. It really identifies the pain point for me. I'm dealing with that pain.
Okay. Well, I worked with some stuff that I've been reviewing recently from Neil Gordon, and he's a pretty good guy at delivering what he calls silver bullets for presentations and that sort of thing. And so I kind of massaged some of his work into that.
You didn't mention award-winning. Do you think that would be relevant?
I don't know. Do you?
I think so.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. I can do that.
Okay, perfect.
Great. Thank you.
And did you have any intentions for doing training?
I'm sorry?
Did you have any intentions or desires of what you hope to get out of today's training?
Is to get as much out of today's training as I can, because I'm working on a local event to bring dentists and other practitioners together for an evening at the Dunedin Golf Club. I've made a reservation for the first week in December.
Okay, and so for you with your event, are you needing help getting butts there? Are you needing help with sponsorship? What do you feel like you would love the most support with?
Probably the most support I would need would be going over what I plan to do, but the organizational aspects of it is what I was really looking forward to today.
Okay, organizational. Okay, like logistics. Okay, perfect. All right, Kathy.
Well, I sent you my question today about the sponsorship in the books, but I'm actually driving, so I don't have my speech with me, but I would like to put out for you guys that Kim has to go to the cath lab on Tuesday. There's something going on with her heart, possibly stents, possibly bypass. So if you guys could all put in a prayer for her, that would be nice. So I'll just go with that today.
Okay. Thank you, Kathy.
Yes. We had a little emergency yesterday, so that's where we're at today.
Okay. Yeah, we'll hold her prayers, and we'll talk about sponsorship for books.
All right, thanks.
All right, Dr. Trish.
Hi, everybody. Wow, it's been a whirlwind since I got back. I just taught all weekend, so I'm trying to catch up and get enough rest. But I guess the big thing for me is I've reached out to Orly as far as the speaker, and I'm thinking of going to her boot camp as well. So I just met her at the summit. If people could, I've reached out to a couple people she gave me references for, but I guess if anybody has any further input to give me on that concept, I'd love it.
Okay, as far as who's worked with her?
Who's worked with her, any feedback, raving things, of course. Just any feedback folks have, it would be wonderful. It sounds like it's a great idea. It just, the concept that only 1% of the speakers out there are women just is ridiculous. I've been speaking my whole life from the time I was a teacher to now, and it just seems a no-brainer to me. I really felt she was wonderful, and I feel like she's a straight shooter. And it's just the idea of doing due diligence and trying to make sure I didn't misread anything, kind of thing, and any, as we all should be doing in good business. So just asking the family what your input would be.
So I do know Deborah Morrison, who was one of the presenters, the financial, yes, she has been working with her for, I believe it's like 2 or 3 months now. Do you have her contact info?
I do.
Okay, yeah, I would reach out to her. She's a little bit farther along in the process,
Great.
And should be able to give you some feedback.
Great. Anybody else on that topic? No. Okay. Another piece was that I have done a podcast with a woman by the name of Kimberly Linnert. I can put it in the chat. She has a podcast called Incredible Life Podcast, and it was awesome. She does video as well as audio, and she's really focused on you and asking you about your life. She asked me if I knew of anyone else that would be interested. And I said, well, I've joined this organization, Business Acceleration Network, and I think many of them would be awesome for your show. So I will put it in the chat if anybody wants to look into her podcast and reach out to her. I'll put her contact there.
Thank you. Thank you,
Sure.
for everybody.
And Shannon, you're someone, just because I know a little more about your background, because of course you and I did Adam Marco's speaking thing together. Please reach out to her. People need to hear your story.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Dr. Trish, I know you do lots of events because of your business model. What are you looking for support with events or sponsorship today?
Well, we've got, seems so many fish in the sea at the moment. I've been reached out to, we will be doing a retreat in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, which only has 15 slots. We're working on how are we putting out the blast of marketing that's going to start with my award and a press release, and we're finalizing that this week. And I've told my people it has to hit the waves this week. So that, with everything from the summit we just did to and the award I won, to different people obviously we interacted with there, to many other things, to try and get that marketing specific to that retreat out. It's not, obviously it's a full trip to Puerto Vallarta. It's not inexpensive, but it's a gorgeous, absolutely spectacularly gorgeous place right on the water. It's 4 or 5 star. It's amazing. So that'll be really neat.
Okay.
So that's one.
Resources.
That's probably the biggest right now on my mind to get going.
Okay, perfect. I got some great resources for that.
Awesome.
Charlene.
Hello. Good to see everybody. I'm not going to do, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm wearing the makeup. Anyway, I'm not going to go through my whole elevator pitch today, but in the smoking hot realm, I just want to let you guys know that December is the month to get the body wraps. I'm doing $200 body wraps for the month of December. So if you've been talking to anybody about it or you're interested yourself, now's the time. You do have to come to me though. You have to come to me. Okay. And if you come to me, you get the bonuses, you get the beamer, you get a little bit of laser lipo, some other things. I will throw those in.
Hello.
So that's the big thing. Heshi just joined us. Hi, Heshi.
Oh,
Good to see your name on the screen.
is she home or are you still?
No, she's still in the hospital.
Oh my goodness. Why?
I'm still in this, pardon me, effing hospital, and they still don't know what's wrong, and I've got people walking in all the time, and nobody seems to be able to do anything.
No.
Their catch-all is that I have fibromyalgia, and Trish, I've been showing them your book, and I said, I'm just going to follow what she says because nobody knows anything.
So
Yeah.
the question I have for you is, why are they keeping you in the hospital if they don't have answers and they feel that you may have fibromyalgia? It's going to
They've been taking tests.
put people at risk for more infection. So why are they keeping you there?
Oh, tell me about it. Doctor who came to see me this morning walked in coughing and hacking. And I said to her, I said, you really should be home in bed. And she said, well, I'm getting better. I'm going, well, that's not really fair to your patients because I picked up an infection while I'm here because my throat and my ears are just like ringing and I'm coughing. And I know, I mean, I didn't have that when I came in. So,
I'm so sorry. But I mean, obviously they must be also trying to figure something in particular out. And if that's the case, then of course, good reason to still be there. But keep asking that question. Why am I still here?
Right,
So
full disclosure. Ask them for full disclosure.
Yeah.
well, I think that I probably will be able to go home later this afternoon. I've had two CAT scans and an echocardiogram and 4 MRIs.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, and blood work and everything. And then I've got this lidocaine patch on. I don't know. I figured I'd just be on the call to listen to everybody.
Oh. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Heshi.
Yeah.
So, so you good, Heshi? Anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay. I'm going to keep going. Okay. So, I also have someone who has a podcast and she is scheduling out for next year, and her name's Jeanette Sibley, and it's called On the Air with Jeanette Sibley. It's your time for success. We focus on success tips, insights, and how to do it that help listeners achieve the results and successes they've always wanted to in their business, career, and life. So I think that covers every one of us. And there's no cost to be on this podcast right now. So if you are looking for podcasts to be on, I think this is great. I know this person from years ago. She did a lot of growth and development with me and Bob. So she's an awesome person to interact with. Anyway, if you're interested in being on her podcast, just put it in the chat and I will hook you up with her through not text messaging, through email. She likes to be introduced to people through email. And then as far as events go, yeah.
Charlene, is this the one that Trish just put in the thing, Kimberly, or that's someone else?
No, Trish and I just happened to have the same thing today. We just happened to bring in the same thing to the call.
So wait,
to the group.
So it's Kimberly?
No, my person is Jeanette Sibley.
Okay. All right.
And I'll put her name in the chat, but she wants me to introduce you guys through email. So I'm not just going to put in her name and number. I'll introduce you through email if you're interested.
Yeah.
And Leslie, I'm so glad you're here because I just want to see what we can get for the REI Made Easy event from this training today.
All right. Is there a particular area you want to focus on?
Well, I'm going to leave that to Leslie. I would be interested in focusing on sponsors and actually just getting people to the event, like getting people to the event and in the seats. That's always been the challenge for me. I've done some events in the past also. My biggest event was like 18 people. And I would just want to know what's that magical way that people are just like, oh yes, I want to come. And David probably touched on it. You have to make it about them.
Perfect. We will talk about that. All right. Thank you, Dr.
Charlene, you're putting who you said in the chat?
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Dr. Bob.
Hi, everybody. I'm driving also. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. You're a celebrity. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. You're on TV.
Yeah, it was really fun. I had my last show today and I'm driving back, and it's really a great experience and very enjoyable. Tammy did a great job taking care of me and making sure I was ready. And yeah, it was just really, really fun. So we did a bunch of Facebook Lives around the events. yeah, so that's cool. And she wants to get me on Dr. Oz. That's her mission now. So,
All right.
Yes.
yeah,
Go, Tammy.
yeah, yeah. We had a lot of fun chatting about life in general too. It was really great. She's a special person. And,
Yes, she is.
I'm enjoying. I'm proud to call her a friend of mine, and also to just interact with her is really great. So, yeah, so that was great. And what else? Oh, I want to thank Kathy and Kim. I stayed over there last 2 nights, and we had a blast. It was so much fun. I joked around with them, and I said that I left some stuff there in their house on purpose so I could come back another time and get it. But yeah, they did a great job. So thanks, Kathy, you're on the call. Thank you so much, and Kim as well. They were just phenomenal hostesses, and took such good care of me. So it made the 2 days of TV shows effortless. Yeah. Thanks, Kathy.
Awesome.
That's all. I'm driving, so I'm driving today.
You're welcome,
so
Bob.
I'm going to be in the background listening. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah. And so I'm going to stay in the background today and just listen for everybody getting the results they want on the call.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Dr. Bob. All right. And Leslie, hi.
Hi.
We're doing a check-in.
Yes, ma'am. I have to remember to leave this time open because my mother, if you have a mother that you spend time with, she's always, oh, you said you would be here at noon. So, so now I'll make it 1:15.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I messaged you. I was like, this is for you, girl.
Yes, I know. Thank you so much for that reminder from you and Charlene this morning. So you've probably heard that Nancy Matthews is urging me to put an event together. And so we have recently, I've changed the name to Real Estate Investing Made Easy because we have this idea of a few of us from the cruise dinner putting, a sort of a system done for you in a box that would be our big sell at this event. And we've decided on February 15th, somewhere in the Melbourne area, Melbourne, Cocoa area. And I just last night at 2 a.m. finished the RFP, and now I need to know what to do with it. Do I send that to you for review, or do we just send it out? And so there's that, and then I guess that's really all that is happening right now is just trying to get that event started, get the venue so that we can start marketing better and faster.
Awesome. Do you have it on your computer so you could screen share?
Sure.
If you
I can do that.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that now or wait until we're...
Just 1 minute. And was it, you were starting to say something else before I interrupted?
And I just had a conversation with Craig, which I know he's not technically a trailblazer, but I feel like he is because he was on the cruise with us, right?
Yes.
And he is so giving and so into me being the one when he's on the phone with me, right? And Charlene, did you feel that way this morning too? I'm amazed.
Yeah, he's an awesome person. He really is.
Yeah. And so we also discussed him coming to the event, helping us market the event. So I just wanted you to know that was a recent discovery just an hour ago that he's going to jump all in. So
yay!
Hopefully he'll be official soon.
That's awesome.
With the Trailblazers. But yeah, so I would love to move forward with showing you that. Let me go get it on my screen.
So those of you that don't know, an RFP is a request for proposal. And I always suggest that when you are doing an event, that you start out with a request for proposal. I used to do the call one by one, and it took forever. And then I went to smart meetings and learned so much. I learned that actually many times the Office of Tourism has funding that will pay for marketing, depending on how many room blocks you get. I also learned that there's different incentives that are out there. Depending on what you're doing. You guys may have heard of 80s in the Park here locally or not. I know that he got $10,000 from them to do marketing outside of the area to draw people in. So a lot of those incentives are based upon room nights, and usually if you're doing a one-day event, you're not going to get people that are going to travel overnight. So sometimes I'll do an evening and a day event, but just if you're going to get people to travel more than 4 hours, it does need to be more than a one-day event. If it's a one-day event, then you really want to concentrate your marketing within 4 hours, if that makes sense. It's just this is just a formula I've found over the years that most people for a one-day event are not going to get airline, fly over. I'm not saying they won't. People do those for VIP days, but most likely on the marketing end, you want to really focus on within 4 hours. That seems to be really easy to get people to drive to the event. So Leslie, do you have the RFP by chance? Oh, it's muted. Let me unmute you.
Unmute. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Do you know how to do screen share by chance?
Yes.
Okay, if you want to screen share, that would be great. So let's go through this together. And let's start at the very top. Looks like you're on page 7. Okay, perfect. All right, let's go to the next one.
Can you see this good?
Yep.
Well, or can
Yep.
I make it bigger? Okay.
Yep, I can see it good. Yep. Wow, you did this really fancy, Chicky. This is nice. All right, keep going.
I actually paid someone to help me with it, and it took them like a month to get it done.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So now
Okay,
it's all
so you've
done.
got the background. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's keep going to the next one. I just want to see some of the logistics side of it.
Okay.
Proposal, purpose. Okay, got it. Okay, so do you say in here how you want it set up? Is it classroom style? Is it theater style?
Is that in here? Hang on. The time, tables and chairs. Okay, I can, to be set up classroom style.
Yeah, now if you want it in writing, you're gonna want it with the, classroom style with the table in front.
With a table in front?
They'll know what classroom style,
Okay.
classroom, that's fine.
Front of the attendees. Okay.
Yep, all right, let's keep going down.
And today, okay.
Okay, so withdrawal no later than December 2nd. Okay, so I would shorten your time. December 2nd is too long to get this back, and you have an event in February.
Okay.
So I would ideally, so what Leslie's going to do is she's going to send this to the Office of Tourism in Brevard. And I would suggest, Leslie, that you reach out to them prior and let them know it's coming. And so when you send it to the Office of Tourism, it's great because they actually send it out to everybody on your behalf. They look at the size that you need. Now saying you need 100 chairs theater style is going to cut out a lot of people. I usually do a range. I
put 100 or more. Sonia seems to think 200 people are coming, so I don't know how much thought she put into that, but that's what she said.
Okay. So just letting you know that whatever number you put there, they're going to alleviate anything below that automatically. So they go through and do the due diligence. So if you need it to be 200, you can put 100 to 200 and they'll find space in there. Or if you want to leave it to be 100, whatever you figure. So the guy's name that I've worked with in the past is there's a Deborah Webster at visitspacecoast.com.
Okay.
And Deborah, DEBORAH.Webster.
Okay.
And yeah, and I think it's great just to talk to them first, just because then you're starting to build a relationship, which is key. And yeah, I would not keep it out more than 7 to 10 days from when you submit it, because you've got it. Time is of the essence now. You've got to get this place dialed in to do this by the 15th.
Okay.
Let's see here. Quite a few things here that I put in the selection. Let's keep going down to the next one.
Okay, I just found a typo. Okay.
Okay, keep going. Is that it? Oh, questions. Okay. All right, anything else in there? Is that the last one?
That's the last page.
Okay. So some of the things that I've put in my RFP, when I'm looking at the proposal, just get the exact language here. And in considering all of your events. So the other place that you can submit things, so some of you may not be looking for room nights. Also, Event-tective is a great way, Event-tective. So some of the things when I'm evaluating, and I'll put this right in the chat room, is I want to know completeness of the proposal. Are there any on-site restaurants, staff rooms, meeting room rental charges, audiovisual fees, comp room policy, site inspection, ADA compliance. So I'm putting this in the chat room for you to look at.
Okay.
But there's a few other things. And I actually break down the day with the schedule, because that helps them with the RFP on exactly what they need to do. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. You're done, right, with that one?
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. I'm stop sharing. Let me get the chat. So here's some of the items that I put in there in mine. But I do break down the schedule so that they can see when they need coffee, when there's going to be a lunch break, everything that's going on.
Would you do that after you accept?
No, I do it right in the thing.
The thing that I'm a little bit worried about is that if this RFP goes out to so many people, what's to stop them from copying everything? The event, the schedule, and some of this stuff is going to be proprietary, I guess. And I don't really.
The schedule's not really.
No? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I mean, I know it seems like a schedule's a big deal, but it's not.
Okay.
If you're sharing, I mean, you can ask Dr. Liddy, but I would be more concerned about, if there's some, I'm trying to think of what would be, what in that proposal do you see as proprietary?
Well, just the idea that we're having it. And, I'm pretty famous around here, so a lot of people know me, and I don't know that. I guess I need to wrap my mind around
that. Then you can share the confidentiality, and I would, when you talk to the Office of Tourism, that would be a great question to ask him.
Okay.
And just say, what do you suggest? So
okay.
Let me show you. I'll screen share mine real quick so you can kind of see what I'm talking about as far as the schedule. So I'll go through and do day one. I'll say what it's set for.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll put a much lower guarantee because I don't want to be guaranteed. The minute you do a guarantee, then you're liable. And this is where people get just gobbled up on events.
Okay.
And I do a purpose, event profile, attendee profile, details, arrival, departure pattern. I mean, yours is a 1 day, so it's a totally different thing. But I also put price points in there too. So it's, if you have are you doing meals?
Yes. A VIP would include the meal.
Okay, so I would also look at what is the budget for that.
Okay.
So you're going to send that to event Tective. You're also going to be sending that to the Office of Tourism, and just so you know, Space Coast Center, they're really tied in, and Space Coast Convention Center seems to just do anything to get business right now.
Right. That's what I was thinking, that would be a better location right off 520.
Yeah, but let them get it from the Office of Tourism, because they will give you a better rate if it comes in that way than you calling them directly.
Okay.
Awesome.
What is Event Tective?
Eventtective.com is another place where you can submit things. I'm not sure if they have anything in Melbourne, but I know that David, as you're doing yours over there, there's all kinds of, they do major cities. They work well for Orlando.
Okay. And that was something else that has been brought up, as, maybe we should do it in Orlando. But because I have such a following here, a lot of people know me from 17 years of marketing as a realtor. So it seems like maybe our first event should be in Melbourne, and then if it grows, okay.
I agree. Yep, I agree. It's easier to get the concept, and it's easier to get people there that you know, and to joint venture with you.
Yes.
Which I know that I'm going to be talking a little bit about. Dr. Trish wanted to know getting people to events. Do you care if I move over to a little bit of operational planning and logistics for David? David, you mentioned some organizational planning. Did any of this help with Leslie, or were there any questions that came up around that for you?
No, the only question, I put it in the is
I have pricing and stuff in there. I have pricing and stuff in there I'm not wanting to share. So
okay.
I can take like the first page and give you that baseline of just showing the first sample. I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Leslie's has wow, I've never seen one like that. That was pretty massive. So David, do you have your event concept design mapped out and budget? Perfect. Okay.
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Leslie, do you have your budget put together yet?
I have no idea. And where's the money coming from?
Yeah. So Leslie, this is where a lot of people they do an event and they forget that very first thing of the budget, and it's like vital that you sit down and go, what's this going to cost? What's that's going to cost? And the hotel is only a part of it, as you know, but you're going to be printing stuff, really looking at that timeline in the budget. So David, you are doing a 1 day, 2 day?
It's an 1 day. Actually, it's an evening, and I'm doing direct mail to a targeted list.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, which works out really well for your demographics.
Is that in Tampa? Or?
In the Clearwater, Dunedin area, right? It's all around Tampa.
So I have, and also Leslie, you want to look at the income, and David, what's the income? So we look at the expenses and the income, things that you do need to consider that a lot of times people don't remember with certain types of events is insurance. Leslie, the hotel will require you to have a level of insurance for that. And you guys all know Wendy Lipton Dipner. Her event this last year got postponed because of the hurricane, And she ended up getting a higher level insurance. She said she spent about $2,000 on insurance, and she made 5 figures on the claim of changing the event. Now, Leslie, this being your first year event, you wouldn't have the same thing. She had proof of money that she's made, but just look and be certain that you look at event insurance and how that impacts you, because during hurricane season, it's something that you want to make sure that that you're taken care of.
Shannon?
Yes.
You said you also said at one point that you have a really good direct mail person.
Yes, Tony Castillo. And Leslie, you know Tony, right?
I don't think so.
Antonio? Is his
I don't know.
name that he goes by?
You have his phone number?
Antonio Castillo, 321-223-2673.
Okay.
And I'll put his email in the chat room. He owns MIP Printing, and he has been doing direct mail for a long time. But what I love about what's happening over the last 2 years is that he's been able to combine direct mailing with online stuff. So they actually in their list get the emails and send them emails, and then they connect on and offline really great. You don't have to have that full service from him. You can just do the direct mail, but he's really taken it to a whole new level with the online and offline.
Thanks.
Okay. I'll definitely give him a call.
And David, he can support you in your area too if you're looking for direct mail. You may already have your list, but he's...
I work with a guy who's done over 1 billion pieces of direct mail.
Oh, yeah.
That's my TV guy, so I got it covered.
Okay. So, David, anything else around the plan or organizational?
No, I think I'm going to be okay.
Okay, great. So I want to make sure I get into sponsorship, but I'm gonna chime in just to finish some of this up with resources. So, Dr. Trish, you are doing an event. It's a retreat, and I wanted to let you know about retreatfinders.com. Retreatfinders.com is the #1 retreat website on the internet. And what's so powerful is that their advertising is so reasonable. And the longer out you put the retreat, like I did my Hawaii retreat, and I think I $40 or $60 for the highest level. And because it was like 9 months, I got 9 months of marketing. And how I have evidence that it's really powerful is that I built, the first year I didn't have a website. The second year I built a website, and the only advertising I did was on Retreat Finders, and I was getting over 100 hits a week. So it's a legit deal, and they make their money on retreat locations, and so retreat hosts, their pricing is so reasonable. Like I said, like $40 and $60 per event. Yeah.
Retreat Finders website states that they are for mostly self-help or personal improvement or things like that. Will they do anything?
Well, they are health. They are health, self-help.
Spiritual healing, I guess, is what they're.
Not so much in the business realm. I have put some business stuff on there, but I had to make sure that it tied into personal development.
Okay.
Also.
If Bob and I put something on there, but we were doing a small retreat, say for 10 or 20 people, do you think it would be effective to use them?
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The price,
okay.
Charlene, I mean, it's just, and putting a website, it's definitely worth it. And then I have a couple of other resources here. So everybody has access to our community media contact list. And that is what came with your membership. But in here, there is also Retreat Seeks or seekretreat.com and retreatplace.com. And so if you go on under this, let me just show you real quick where I'm at. I'll do a quick screen share so that you can see this, Dr. Trish. Where are my... Okay. So this is our media contact list. And then can everybody see along the bottom all of the lists here? See how it says Central Florida, Texas, Orlando, India. Can you see this list?
Oh.
Okay. And at the bottom it says online. So here's some of the retreat things that we've used, Trish.
Okay.
And I love this retreat place because you don't pay them anything except for 10% of what they bring you as far as a customer. So you pay them after the fact.
Okay.
Which is great.
Great, thank you.
So Retreat Finders rocks. One of my favorite. I love it. Also, let's just touch base real quick on the marketing. You guys have heard me mention having the swipes together. Direct mail can be really great. You want to be thinking about enticing things to get people there. I don't know if it's like the first 50 that register, or if there's meals, or people love incentives to come. And so you want to showcase that. If there is, Leslie, with you, it could be a giveaway of some sort of training, but be thinking about what that is. And if you're partnering with anybody, ask them if there's things that they want to contribute, because you could actually come up with a bundle. And David's been great every single event we had. Shannon, I'm going to give this. Shannon, I'm going to give this. So reach out to your community and see. Maybe there's some easy things that aren't going to cost money that could add value to your purchase price. But having those press release, press kit, swipes, pre-written email sequences are essential. And in my experience, you don't want to be putting all of your energy online, because online is not what gets people into seats. And this is where, like what Dale was talking about tracking your time, especially if you're doing an event. Like I personally think that you need to be spending at least 60% of your time offline, meaning phone calls, maybe connecting with the media to submit a press release. I'm also big on finding strategic partners, which, Leslie, I know you're working with strategic partners. Maybe there's people that you're bringing in that will help market it. I've also leveraged giving free tickets for people that help market things. So really look at your effort of what's online and offline. Now, David, you're a little bit different because you're in the medical realm, and there is you've seen this. People are sending out pieces, they invite them to dinner, they fill the room. Is that the model that you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it works. Stick with it, but also be thinking about, is there a giveaway that you're giving them in addition to the dinner, to having it be enticing. Any questions around marketing before I get into sponsorship, or anything else around events before I get into the money?
If you're marketing an online program, do you think it's effective to do direct mail?
How targeted is your niche?
I would say it's like people with chronic pain over 40. Chronic pain defined as if they've had pain for 3 months or more.
Are you planning on purchasing a list?
Well, if we went to the direct mail guy, Tony, I imagine that he would help us with the demographic, the definition of the demographic and who to send it out to.
Well, we always work with 10 to 12 markers in the list. So to be very specific, you may want to have an age range, a gender range, a specific magazines they read, or memberships they belong to, or so on and so on and so on. And the more specific you get with those tags, those markers, the better list you're going to get, just so you know that.
Okay. So I need to define my demographic, and maybe even have different direct mail pieces for women or men, or different age groups, or whatnot.
It's possible. But your guy, if you're going to go to that guy, he should be able to help you with those markers.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, David.
Yeah. And direct mail can work really, really well, especially if it's done well. So Hesky is asking about swipes. So swipes are those pre-written marketing bleeps. So it could be tweets, it could be Facebook posts, it could be images. When we get into Vera, let me do one more screen share here for you. Swipes are also, this is an internet marketing term where it is pre-made material. So let me go ahead and do another screen share and I'll show you some sample swipes. This one does not include the pre-written email series, but if you go here and go under social images, these are pre-done swipes. So these are marketing pieces that are done. And then if we go here under, no, there's a place.
Do we all have access to Vera now?
You're in here, but they're still uploading a couple things before we actually go through the training.
Would you suggest that we use this as our event hub for marketing?
No, we're not set up there yet.
Okay.
Yep. So here are sample snippets, Heshi. So you see how it has hashtags, it has something that's been pre-written. So when you're developing swipes, it's just marketing, online marketing, cut and paste and images that make it really easy. Oh, look, there's David. There's Leslie. Does that help, Heshi?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, anything else around events, event magic before we get into sponsorship? Is this helpful? Okay, good. I figured you guys would be my agenda today. Okay, so we helped David, we talked to Trish, Leslie, we did a little bit. All right, so let me talk about sponsorship. So Kathy, I know you're working, and is Kathy still with us?
No.
Okay, but she might listen to the replay. So Kathy is working with getting sponsors for her book, and sponsorship is sponsorship. So I wanted to go through just some of the first part of sponsorship is identifying what's possible for you to sell around a sponsorship. What are items that you can create? What's value you can create? What's in it for them? What are you giving them? So with Kathy and it being a book, I just shared with her my model in the book, and I just did one sponsor, one price, get in the book, get a chapter with an ad, 4 pages, give me a bonus. It was very, very simple. When you start getting into event sponsorship, it's good to have a few different options. And so one of the things that you want to look at is the sponsorship type. So right now I'm just going to go through an inventory just to trigger your mind. And Heshi, I know you were working on this. She's talking to somebody now, but I asked her, I said, Heshi, get together. What is it? What all can you offer somebody? So the sponsorship type could be naming rights. Maybe they're a presenting sponsor. Maybe they're an area sponsor. Maybe they're a day sponsor. Maybe they're a workshop sponsor. Maybe they're, like at our event, they could be an award sponsor, a dinner sponsor. They could be a lunch sponsor. So you want to think of the sponsorship type. That is an actual thing that you can give people that has value. So like Leslie, you could say you could be the VIP lunch sponsor, right? And that's one of the items on your inventory that you can give. Another type of item that you could give is exclusivity. This could be given at certain levels. This could be given at a certain amount. It could be exclusive to a certain type of advertising that you do, or a supplier or a seller. So in our thing, we're about collaboration. So we don't do exclusivity, but there may be a certain level of exclusivity that you look at in different areas of what you're doing. It doesn't mean. Go ahead.
Sorry. Do you mean exclusivity, like for example, at my event, I would have one home inspector, one mortgage person?
Yeah, so there's in this list, there's 4 different types of exclusivity. You could do category exclusivity among sponsors, and that could be given at any level. So let's say you have 3 levels, and at the top level, you're only going to do 1 home improvement, right? They could do other ones, but it could be exclusivity to the sponsorship. A category could be exclusivity to the sponsorship. So you may say, I'm only going to do 1 sponsor, 1 event sponsor, presenting sponsor. It could also be category exclusivity in event-driven advertising or promotional media. So you could say, we're going to do a bus wrap, and you're the only one that's going to get the bus wrap. Or we're going to do a billboard, and you're the only one that gets the billboard. And then the last one is getting to what you said, where it's an exclusive to a certain type of supplier. Now, you got to be really careful with exclusivities. We did this at my other event, the Expo of Heart, and we charged a pretty penny for exclusivity. Like if people wanted a booth, we charged them like 2 or 3 times the amount of that booth for exclusivity. Okay. The other thing is product endorsement. So there could be, as far as sponsorship, use of the sponsees' logos, images, trademarks, product endorsements. Also, some things that you could do is, Leslie, for you in particular, if you're doing this event more than one, it could be a multi-event contract. Performance incentives. Some of you heard Dale and I talk at the retreat about how we're doing the kind of roundtable sponsorship, and with that sponsorship, there's actually performance incentives and rebates that people get paid on the performance. So that can be another thing that you do. You could also, as a sponsor, offer them sampling, demonstration, opportunity to sell their product on site, coupons, signage is another thing. You could give them exclusive on on-site banners, venue signage, press conference signage, shirts. People have done shirts, bags. Your first event, Leslie, I wouldn't go into, and this is why your budget's so important, I wouldn't go into a bunch of things. Yes, Dr. Bob. I wouldn't go into a bunch of things that are going to cost you money, if that makes sense. I would look for more sponsorship. Now I might do advertising. So, for example, I went to Spectrum, and Spectrum, because of the charity side of it, and with some of what you might be doing with the charity side of it, they actually made an incredible deal where it was like $11 a commercial. They even had some things on Lifetime television. So that could be one where if you get a sponsor and you use that money to pay for advertising, that would make sense, right? But to do a bag, and I'm not saying don't do it, just I would look at money coming in to go towards getting butts in seats. And Spectrum's a great thing. So what I was going to say is they actually did a matching so that any amount of money that we spent, they were going to match it because of the nonprofit component, which was pretty cool. Also, you could, in your sponsorship, offer them anything hospitality. So it could be tickets to the event, preferred tickets to the event. It could be a backstage thing. It could be a celebrity meet and greet. It could be any sort of travel arrangements. You might throw in rooms or do a chaperone or concierge things. So there's hospitality pieces that you can include for the sponsorship. So for example, with our sponsors, we do ideally a post-event debriefing of what worked, what didn't work. Is there anything else we can help? So those are things that, what can you offer them that's going to help them with their journey? Information technology. So it says provision for content for sponsor internet. So you could link to their site. You could promote a contest. You could give them naming rights, licensing. So database, this is another thing that you really got to be careful of. But in the beginning, I used to share my database of people that signed in, and then after 2 times people emailing everybody without blind copying them, and getting yelled at. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. But you may want to consider your sharing your database with particular people that are giving money. Just let people know, or you may say, I will send an email to my database. So any sort of database and relationship marketing can also be considered part of sponsorship. Public relations, promotional opportunities, any sort of supporting event, or if you do a pre-event or a post-event. Media profile, if there's any media that you're going to do on that. A cause. So Leslie, I think you're doing a cause, if I know, right? So there's a donation portion. So one of the things, a cause tie-in. So with us, our sponsors are, like David is sponsored, and so is Bob and Charlene, future leaders to come in the program. So if there's something that you want them to have a portion giving back, a lot of sponsors really enjoy that piece of cause tie-in to what they're doing. And they can actually go out and get marketing on that. So it can be a win-win. You know what I mean? You can share the whole package of why that cause can be a great thing for them. Any questions about that portion of it? And that first action step for sponsorship is getting the list of what you can offer?
Shannon, I'm just wondering if how soon you will have the recording up, because unfortunately the part that I really needed, the doctor walked in.
It's in our Facebook group right now. It's running live. So it's
there. But I'll need the recording because I'll have to listen to what I missed.
Recording's there. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll get it. So then from there, and this is where the budget comes in really key, Leslie, is that you're going to start dividing them into packages. So you can have a high, middle, low, but you do want to figure out your costs, because especially if you're paying a commission, if there's lunch costs, if there's advertising costs. So you're not only going to have your event budget, but you do want to look at the sponsorship budget. So for accounting wise, I'll take a portion of the sponsorship. So let's say somebody pays me $5,000. Of that $5,000, if I know that's going to cost me $2,000, I'm going to take that $2,000 out and put that in the event budget to pay for those certain meals and advertising and things like that. So it's really important to get clear on what your sponsorship piece is. Take that from advice. You don't want to eat it, or from experience, you don't want to eat it. Dr. Bob, you had a question? No, okay. Dr. Bob, when you can hear and chime in, that's great. So with the sponsorship, there are, if you can put together what we call in capital raising, or a common word used at CEO Space is a magic folder. And so the magic folder has the packages, has the demographics, has the introduction letter, maybe even sample marketing material. That in the order form, you really like, here it was our sponsorship application. It's good to have, this is what you guys have heard me say, get something that people can fill out and write on. It's so important to have this to attract money. If you don't have it, then you're kind of missing the boat. And oh man, here's one. This was really great, and this just shows you the power of sponsorship. So they wanted the $5,000 sponsorship, and look at what they gave me. Can you guys see this? Almost $30,000 in marketing. Included lots of commercials, a total of 125 commercials on an FM station in Miami. So don't only think about sponsorship for money, think about sponsorship also, Leslie and Hetty and David, for marketing. So this was a FM station in Miami. Gave them the package, and the was a marketing package that exceeded what I was asking for. All right, we're at the top of the hour, and I'm happy to spend some more time if anybody has some more questions, and we'll do a quick check-in. Leslie, go ahead.
Do you have a spreadsheet to help organize all of this? that you can share with us?
No.
Like a template?
No, I have an action matrix that I do for my clients, Leslie, that I've been years putting together, and so it's one of the things that I'm, with VIP day and things like that, I'm happy to share. But it would be tens of thousands and hundreds of hours. It's the one thing that I'm like, no.
Okay.
But I'm happy to explore how to work with you and that. The budget is going to be key, Leslie, for you, because I'm a little concerned that going without looking at what's happening. It's kind of eye-opening when you see all the moving parts. David, was it revealing for you when you looked at your budget?
Yeah, I at first glimpse in my head, I'm saying, oh, it's going to cost this, this, or this. And then by the time I was done, it's like, okay. It was drastically larger. So, and I'm sure I don't have everything that's going to happen in there. So yeah, budgeting is really critical. I just found something that maybe everybody can take a note to. It's go to jimmyfund.org, JIMMY, like the name Jimmy, fund, FUND, and they have some checklists in there that might be helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, and go ahead.
Sorry. Would you imagine that a one-day event with lunch should cost around $10,000? And then
people spend all kinds of money. I haven't. Just so you know, that's a lot more than I've spent on 3-day events.
Okay, that's all I needed to know, because I was thinking 10 grand, and then if we get sponsors to pay that 10 grand, then the admission would help alleviate the other.
And just so you know, people have spent 25 grand on day events. So it's all in where, there's a lot of moving parts to that.
Okay.
But that's a lot more than what I've paid for.
Okay. I would like to talk to you after this call, if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Let's do a final check-in. Charlene?
Yes, what would you like to know? I'm planning an event. I have an event in a week and a half.
You do. And I love frequently.
So I'm kind of I'm a stress expert, and I'm doing everything I can to keep my to not be really stressed about it. But
you make it look so easy.
There's just a lot of loose ends to tie up.
Well,
as it's coming up. So
I love your Q&A, and I was sitting here and Dale said the same thing, and then it was like Dale was telling me, you need a Q&A, frequently asked questions. So Leslie, make sure you do that too for your event. And so I asked Charlene a question, and she goes, go look at the Q&A. I was like, this is really cool.
That was so much fun.
She's got it all together.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty much together. Yes. Yeah. My family's coming in next Wednesday. So people are coming in a little bit earlier because the flights were better prices. Right. So I was more expecting, like Thursday, Friday, but so everything's just starting a little bit earlier. And I want to do like little gift bags when they come in with snacks and water and things like that. And, had to run the suits to the dry cleaners, the whole list of stuff. There's just a list of stuff. You just can't get away from it.
Yeah. Have you assigned somebody to keep track of the restrooms every hour? I'm serious.
He's serious. He's like, yes. Okay. Charlene, I'm excited to see you. It's going to be great. David, any final remarks, questions, comments? No? Heshi, any final remarks, questions, comments? Nope. Kathy, we're so glad you're back. Any questions, remarks, comments? I can unmute you. Leslie, are we good? All right, I'll call you after this. And this replay is there, so you can hear this. Prayers for Heshi, prayers for Kim, prayers for my little guy too. He's still trying to kick this bug from the cruise, you guys. He has not gotten rid of that cough. I think he has something to say, right? And do we have our session tomorrow? We do. Tomorrow is our small group mastermind. If you are available, would love to see you at noon. Should be a great chance to dive deep and work on your one question. Hopefully everybody saw the newsletter also and took time to fill out the survey and book some time with me. I love you guys. Bye for now.